Hello everybody and welcome to this video. My name is Winston. Today I'm going to talk to you about the top 3 biggest mistakes that I see new entrepreneurs doing, and I did these myself and they held me back a ton, and I could have saved a lot of time by simply just avoiding these mistakes. So hope this video is going to help you, and I hope you can avoid making these beginner mistakes by me making this video. So let's get straight into it. Mistake number 1 that I see most beginner entrepreneurs make is they spend all their time on coming up with a really good business name and building out the best looking website for their business, and spending all their time basically on like creating branding for their new agency or whatever it might be, and like their logo. Now here's the deal, it doesn't freaking matter when you're just starting out. Like nobody cares about how good your website is or how good your logo is, because nobody's gonna see it. You're not gonna be getting your clients from SEO traffic from Google. You're gonna be getting all your clients, if you're starting out a creative agency or freelancing or a consulting business, you're gonna be getting the clients in the beginning from direct outreach, and you can simply get by just fine with a simple scheduler page like a Calendly link or an equity scheduling link. You don't need a fancy website or a funnel with like all sorts of different tabs and all that stuff. Now of course, like further down the road, once you have some clients, you do want to spend time on that, but when you're just starting out, in my opinion, your focus shouldn't be on creating logos and coming up with different names and everything, because the reason people will buy something from you is because they trust you. So instead of doing that, I think that time is way better spent on doing market research, creating an offer and coming up with a product that the niche that you picked actually wants, spending that time on outreach and reaching out to people, right? Honing in your sales skills, honing in your service delivery skills, like working on all these things that are going to benefit the customer at the end of the day, and not just like spending all your time on making yourself look like you're a professional, even though you have like no idea how to deliver the results or how to do what you're trying to sell. That time is way better spent elsewhere, in my opinion. I got up to around 5K a month with my creative agency in the beginning when I didn't even have a website for it. All I used was a simple scheduler and my own social media profiles. People are going to be buying into you, not your brand in the beginning. They are going to purchase a certain product or service or program from you because they trust you as a person, not because they trust your brand. You are not Nike, you are not Coca-Cola. Like people won't buy from your agency because the logo and the name sounds cool and the logo looks like good. It just won't happen. You need to focus on making yourself trustworthy, focus on your sales skills, focus on creating an actual product and service that helps someone and actually solves a real problem that they have, and that is how you're gonna see better results. So that is the number 1 mistake I see new people make. The second mistake is starting multiple businesses at the same time when they are starting out. So this is another one that I've made. I haven't started my second business like super close to the first one, but still I think until you get up to 10K a month profit with one business, you shouldn't even be thinking about starting a second one, maybe even further down the road, because it's just simply like so hard to scale 2 things at the same time, because your time is going to be split between the 2, your focus is going to be split between the 2, and if you are just like trying to help 2 different markets at the same time and deliver 2 different like transformations with your offer, it's just not worth it, in my opinion, to start 2 things at the same time. Just focus on one thing, become really good at solving a certain problem in a certain way for a certain group of people, and then once you are successful with that, once you have hired a team and once you have streamlined the process, only then I think you should move on to something else if you really want to do it. But most of the people who are really wealthy or have created great things, they haven't did like multiple businesses at the same time. They just focused all their energy and focus on making one great service and product. And yeah, people like to say like, oh, look at Elon Musk, he's done all these different companies and he's running them at the same time, blah 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 blah. Like you don't want to like bet on the exception to the rule. Like you don't want to guess that you are as good as Elon Musk or at managing different things and all that, because it's just like the chances are not in your favor. Most people aren't capable of running multiple things at the same time and making them super successful. So instead, why don't you just like try to bet on how 99% of people got successful, which is like making one thing successful and only then maybe starting something else. And nowadays I feel like with the internet, and I fell into this trap as well, so many people are saying like, oh, the average millionaire has, you know, 7 income streams and all that stuff. But it's just like, I think it's just so counterintuitive, because most people who actually made a lot of money, they made it by making something great. And yeah, they might have started multiple businesses throughout their lifetime, and you know, they might be at this point like 40, worth a lot of money, and they might be running multiple things at the same time, but they didn't do all at once. Okay, they just started with one thing most of the time, made it successful, started another one, like hired out everything, built out a business that isn't dependent on them actually running it day to day, and that's how they did it. So don't fall into the trap of starting multiple businesses at the same time, because it's going to slow you down a lot. Trust me, I fall into this trap as well. And if you can just not simply do it, trust me, you're going to progress so much faster. And the third big mistake that I see people making all the time is creating a product or service before doing market research. So what I mean by that is they will create something that they think people really want, and then find out that nobody actually wants it. So you should be thinking like the exact opposite way of that. So what you should be doing is choosing a market that you want to help, something you're interested in, and then actually talking to those people who you want to help, figuring out what their problems are, what can you actually help them with, and then figuring out a solution for it and seeing if you can help them with that certain problem or not, and then creating a product, a service, you know, a course, whatever it might be, not the other way around. You don't want to create something that you think people really need and that you think is cool, because then what can happen is that nobody actually wants it, and you spend hundreds of hours creating that thing that only you think people want, but they don't actually want. So that's another trap I have fallen into, not when I was just starting out, but like a couple years into it. But still, if you can just like not do this, you're gonna save yourself so much time and get success to some extent so much faster. So I really hope this video was helpful for you guys that are just starting out your businesses and you're still in the early phases. I highly encourage you to pay attention to these things and not fall into these traps, because so many people fall into these, myself included, and it's just going to slow you down a lot. And I'm not saying it's like a race and that you should be always trying to get to the end goal as soon as possible, because these will definitely, like, if you fall into these mistakes, like, they're definitely gonna teach you the lesson. But I think a smart person can learn on other people's mistakes, and they don't have to commit them themselves all over again, right? So hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to work one-on-one with me, then go and click the link in the description below to schedule a call. And other than that, hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one.